ladies and gentlemen, we've got the brand new Mercedes-Benz EQA with us, and well, there is a lot to talk about this. For this, we've got the best man possible. We've got Santosh Iyer with us, the man in charge of operations at Mercedes-Benz India. So, Santosh, thank you so much for your
Thanks
time.
for joining us. Thank you.
And so the EQA is finally in the country. And yesterday, during your presentation, you did bring up a lot of interesting points. One of which really caught my attention was that how you're targeting the first-time buyers with this car.
Yeah.
And this is something, a change that we've been seeing with Mercedes-Benz as a brand. Your buyers are getting younger. So can you just speak a bit about this focus, how it's turning out, and what's the plan here?
So, we have been studying the EV space for the last 4 years. We were the first brand to bring a electric luxury EV to India, and post that also localize a EV in India. But when we were looking at EQA introduction, firstly, this is a hugely successful car. We have done more than 130,000 cars sold worldwide. So we had to first get the allocations right and then look at planning the launch for India. So we are launching this car with a straight global facelift version. So it's as latest as it can get. And then when we looked at the customer profile, we clearly know that a lot of young customers today are spending on sustainable, right from milk in the morning to organic food to where the products are getting sourced from. I think there is a lot of awareness, and there is a lot of money also as a premium. Customers are paying for some of these things. But when it comes to cars, there is still the rational mind which works, functionality of a combustion engine is, and should I switch to an EV? So we are positioning this car more among the youngsters who have this mindset. Also kids today, when they go to school, etc., they want to be dropped in an EV maybe. They are also more aware about these sustainable practices. And the third change or trend in demographics we see is also double income families, because both of them working, the household income goes up beyond 1 crore. Which earlier was a bit difficult to fathom, and now when you have more than 1 crore to spend, you have bought a house, maybe that's generally still in the shopping list as one of the first priority for Indians. And then in that sense, then they look at a luxury car, and I think the EQA fits this kind of a profile absolutely, right there. It's your entry into the world of Mercedes-Benz, and why not with an EV? Because you stand out. Also, you stay in large condominiums, and a Mercedes-Benz is there. There are many Mercedes-Benz, but with an EV, you can further stand out. So I think that's the kind of profile and the consumer target group we are looking at.
And you've been launching a lot of EVs lately, and you will be launching 2 more in the year, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
So right now with the infrastructure, kind of infrastructure that we have in the country, do you think that EVs will continue to grow and become a substantial part of your portfolio as well as for the overall industry? What kind of future are you seeing for EV?
See, firstly, I keep saying to a lot of my friends as well that EV is not an option. Finally, we are looking at a carbon neutrality by 2039. The big step towards carbon neutrality, apart from supply chain and everything else, is having a zero tailpipe emission car, which can only be given by an EV. So to start with now, how do we do this journey from 24 to 2039 or beyond? So how do we do this? So therefore, for us, we have to wait for customers. So we will be offering powertrain solutions across. So we have a good gasoline engine, we have clean diesels, and we have EVs. And here our job is to educate customers, to tell them the benefits of EV. Apart from being sustainable on the from an environment perspective, it's a fantastic on TCO as well. The total cost of ownership, I explained, when you look at EMI plus maintenance plus the fuel cost, and EV today is much cheaper to own and operate compared to a combustion engine counterpart. But yes, there is a bit of pain when it comes that you have to plan your long trips, you have to find a charging, you have to use an app. But the digital natives, that's why we are more focused on the younger target group, because they are used to apps, and it's not that difficult. You will definitely stop at a Starbucks or at a coffee shop and you can charge your EVs, by the time you have the coffee. And I think that's what we have to look at these newer age customers. But how long it takes, I think that we cannot predict also, because it's also dependent on government regulations. Today, EVs make a lot of sense because the GST is only 5% in India compared to the 48-50% on a SUV combustion engine. So it's a lot of, I would say, a value. When somebody buys a combustion engine car, 65% of the value goes in taxes. Whereas here only 5% goes in tax. So it's a good proposition, but then whether the government will continue this for 10 years and all this will depend, and have a direct impact on the transition. So for us, we say that we are strategically focused on EV transition. but we are tactfully flexible. Even our manufacturing plant, we can make EV and combustion engine in the same production line.
So that was a very interesting point that Santosh made. With combustion engines, up to 65% of your car's value might go up in taxes, and that is where you save a lot with the EVs, but also in terms of running. And
Yeah.
you mentioned, total cost of ownership. Now, yesterday you did put up some interesting numbers,
Yeah.
and I'm sure our viewers would want to know that how is this working differently for the EQA.
So what we did is, for us the customer profile is very similar to a GLA, the guy who buys a GLA combustion engine. So we compared our EV with a GLA. So let's keep everything same. Like down payment, let's say 14 odd lakhs. It's approximately 15-20% to the cost of the car. And then comes the equated monthly installment. So here with a EQA, you end up paying 4,000-5,000 rupees more when it comes to an EMI compared to a GLA. But what you get is you hardly spend 2,000-3,000 rupees on a charging, and this we have even taken public charging, which is expensive compared to home charging. And if you use a gasoline engine on a GLA, you will spend up 10-12,000 on fuel, because if you drive 2,000 kilometers a month. So there is a clear cost saving when it comes to fuel. There is a clear saving when it comes to maintenance, because if you look at a service package cost of a EV versus ICE, the EVs are damn cheap because there is not many moving parts. So the cost of maintaining an EV is also much cheaper. If we add all this in the equation, you have a clear monthly saving of 5,000 rupees if you drive 2,000 kilometers, and in a year 60,000, in 4 years say 2,40,000. We are able to do also this because we believe in the product. We are giving warranty of 8 years on the battery. That also helps us to give a residual value guarantee of 67% at the end of 4 years. Now, how did we arrive at 67%? For us at GLA today, we give this guarantee even today for our combustion engine GLAs, petrol and diesels. So we said let EV match the same residual value. We are confident of the product, about the residual value, about the demand for this car, and therefore we are ready to take that risk. And with this, it becomes a real compelling proposition to shift to EV and to the EQA.
So that's again one very interesting point Santosh made, how Mercedes-Benz has worked to make the ownership, the buying value for this versus the petrol GLA very, very similar. So you don't feel you are going out of the way to buy something. And Santosh, right now, if you can also tell us, what kind of EV contribution you're getting in terms of sales, and how are the sales going on right now?
No, I think overall sales can't complain. I think we will be announcing our H1 results soon, and definitely the growth story continues there. When it comes particularly to EVs, we started early. We were last year at around 2%. This year we are at around 5% penetration. So definitely it's growing very fast in terms of penetration. But to be honest, we are not giving any target, neither to our dealers, neither to consultants. For us, we are recommending that we will have an EV across our product portfolio, and every customer who walks in should be given an option of a EV. Some of them will take the leap of faith because they believe in sustainability, they believe in, also TCO argument in an EV, and some would like to continue. I think I keep telling our teams, we are one of the few brands who can offer the full portfolio across right from my GLA to the Maybach. I have a gasoline, I have a diesel, clean diesel, and I have a EV, and it's up to the customer to decide as such. So yes, I think as time goes, awareness increases, which I also request media to, friends like you to make consumers aware. The biggest issue with EVs is also they feel if the battery warranty is 8 years, whether I have to change batteries in 8 years. And that's not the case. You can use this car for 15-20 years, state of charge doesn't drop. The battery can be repurposed, it can be recycled, it has a value which is higher than a combustion engine at the end of 15 years. So this, I think, will take time. I think one full cycle of EV ownership may be giving the customers some confidence as well. So from our end, we are making apps where all the charging infrastructure is able to be bundled as much as possible. We are trying to give the residual value guarantee. We are giving higher warranty on batteries. But yes, it takes time for this awareness to build up. But we are sure, I think this is on the growing path and will grow further.
Well, that's a very important point Santosh made. 8 years warranty doesn't mean that 8 years is the life of the battery. The battery and the vehicle will last a lot more than that. And Santosh, one last question. Overall, when this year started, there was a lot of forecast predictions that we had a very good last year. This one might not be that well. We have already been some months into the year. What's your take on the year? Do you see it improving or going? Which
I think this year the quarter one was fantastic for us. Actually, with double-digit growth, we will announce our quarter two results. But H1 shows growth, and I feel no reason why this momentum should not continue even in H2. Of course, quarter two was seasonality is low, so it's not a surprise. And also, we had elections in India. But I still feel the big picture is there. Consumers wanting to buy more cars, more Mercedes-Benz, and with that, surely the double-digit growth for the year should be on track.
brilliant. So that was Santosh talking about the company's plans and of course the EQA for you. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks
us,
a lot
Santosh.
for joining.
It was
Thank
a
you. Pleasure.